Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting event here. Um, as you see, for now, it is just me. We are waiting on Matthew should be joining us here momentarily. He's running a little bit behind, and then got a message from Jim Foster that he will be about 30 minutes late getting on. So we are waiting for those guys to join. I'm actually looking here into the room right now, waiting to see when these guys do get a chance to jump on. So they will be joining us at that time. So I guess we'll just find a way to entertain everybody until then and go along with the flow. But I guess let me get over to the comments here. I guess we'll just go along with and see what everybody wants to talk about right now, and get along and just wait till the other guys get joined in. Melina, I guess you haven't been on Facebook for a few days. This was announced last Monday, almost a week ago. So,
where you been, Melina?
But Jim will be here momentarily. He texted me there about 30 minutes ago, said he's about a half an hour out. So he will be joining us. And then Matthew, we're just waiting for Matthew. Let's see if we can find him here. Still waiting on him. Shows he's online. So maybe he'll come in momentarily. So what do you guys want to talk about until these guys get in here? I know there's a lot of things going on with the solar eclipse, southern border. I don't know. Most of you guys know how this show works, so let's roll with it. See what we can get here. Wind advisory tomorrow through Tuesday.
That
sounds about right. Sounds about right. Is everybody excited for the big April 8th solar eclipse? School closings due to the eclipse. Debbie Stacy says the background looks great.
Looks good.
Wait.
On the screen.
I can hear her talking. Are you with us, Debbie?
I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of school. I know Brown County here locally is closed. I believe Fayette County and a couple other schools have closed. Morgan County is going to dismiss at 11 a.m. on Monday the 8th. I says, hello, Clarice. She's been watching too many Hannibal movies. But like I said, Matthew will be joining us, I think, here shortly. So we're just waiting on him. And then Jim Foster is running a little behind.
Well, you talk about Biden.
Does anybody really want to hear about him?
I just think it's funny that he's incompetent to stay in trial, but he's competent enough to run the country and have the nuke codes.
Right. So, I mean, if you guys wasn't able to hear, since the last time we was on, Biden was charged, right? Mm-hmm. And when it looked like they were getting ready to indict him and do a lot of things with him in court, they popped up and said that he was incompetent and couldn't stand trial because of his mental health. And it's like, okay, but he's capable enough of running the country, or capable enough of, as Deb was just saying, having the nuke codes and stuff. I mean, if you can't stand trial, you can't run the country. Is the way I look at it. So
that's exactly right.
I think that's kind of disturbing. It kind of tells you what kind of mess. What was that? Tells you what kind of a mess that the country's actually in, and what a lot of our leaders and court systems and things are in. Because if he cannot, if he can't stand trial, then he shouldn't be able to stand in front of any of us and try to be the leader of this country. What Jim are we talking about? Jim Foster, Oklahoma guy. Jim Foster, Flat Earth man. should be on momentarily. Just waiting on these guys to get in. Let me make sure ain't nobody trying to get in right now. Jim said he'd be about 30 minutes out. He was on his way home from Dallas, so he'll be a few minutes out. Matthew was supposed to join us tonight. He told me to send him the link so he could join us, and I did, and still ain't seen him. So,
you know what? Did you send it to Wilma?
No.
And I don't have her as a friend, so I can't.
Alright, I'll get it. So yeah, we're just blabbing and going on right now, just trying to go with the flow here.
Surely Melina has something to say because I've never known her not to have anything to say.
Melina's asleep at this point.
She didn't even know he's having.
Announced over a week ago, and she didn't even know it was going to happen.
She's had a rough week. I will give her that. I'm trying to invite people that I know.
I invited a few in, trying to everybody get tired of looking at me here in a minute because they come to see Jim. You know, he was the attraction, so we're waiting on him. He's just a few minutes out. I figured, so I said we'll just chat it up and go along with it. I don't really want to get a whole lot into like the eclipse and stuff right now because I know that was a big thing that Jim, had on the agenda to bring up. Dreading tomorrow, Melina said. And then asking about Aspen, she's on the other side of the camera there, laying on the floor. She hasn't got to make her debut on the camera just yet, but she will eventually. I'm keeping check here to see when these guys are going to pop in.
Melina, what are you guys into? Somebody talk about what their questions are and stuff like that. I'm sure everybody's got questions.
I'm trying to think of some stuff just to go on about till these guys get in here.
I'm just wondering how many people think the election's actually going to go off this year. Trump's doing excellent in polls.
As of right now, the last check, he was leading in all the major polls, even the ones he's not supposed to be leading.
Even the ones they try to fudge.
Yeah, he was leading all of them.
Ask them if they've seen this thing about the illegal immigrant with the encouraging people on TikTok. He's got like 4 million followers, and encouraging other illegal immigrants not to sleep on the street, but go into any homes that are vacant or empty.
Wasn't it something about someone left their house?
I saw a video.
And then they come back.
She had the deed. She had the deed to the house and reported it. Called the police because there were people in the house, and one guy claimed he had a lease, but he didn't have no paper lease. He said he was leasing it off of her. She said that he wasn't, and they told her that she would have to take them to court and get an eviction notice. So she catches them gone. She breaks in her house, in her own house. It has her stuff in it, and changes the locks. And the police show up and arrest her. They arrest her for changing the locks.
All right, guys. So what do you think of that? We've got 17 watching right now. So what do you guys think of that? You get in your vehicle and you go to the grocery store. You go to Walmart, Dollar Store.
So you go to Gatlinburg for a week.
Gatlinburg, go on vacation. Just run to get, gas at the gas station. Come back and you've got illegal immigrants in your home. And when you go into your home and try to throw them out of your home, you could be arrested because, what was it they said? Technically, they were called squatters. Because if they said that they were squatters inside the home, then they become the legal occupant of that home, right? Ain't that how it was
That's
said?
what they're saying. There's squatters' rights, and that if the home is abandoned or empty, but this lady's home was not. She was gone on vacation. Her stuff was still in the house and everything. It wasn't like vacant home, and she got arrested. It's on TikTok. You can find it.
Yeah.
I could probably find and pull it up.
Like I said, I'll probably get kicked off the air before these other guys can join in here.
Felicia, that's what I'm saying.
But here's exactly what my answer to that was. When it was brought up, what in the world? Stuff a falling from the fan up here. Here's what I said. If they're undocumented and they're here undocumented, then there's no documents as to what's going to happen to them. You come into my house, on my property, whatever. There's no documents for you that proves you was here. So when you disappear, nobody's going to miss you. I'll just leave it at that.
If I send this video to you, can you show it? I found it. The one where the lady's arrested.
Yeah. Yeah, send it.
Where do you want me to send it to? Messenger?
Yeah, just send it somewhere. I'll get it. I'll do a screen share and play it. Yeah. Michelle said, "Do you know what state that's in? What state that was?"
I'm going to send it to you so you can play. But now the illegal immigrant he's got like 4 million views or 4 million followers on TikTok. So he's telling people, here's this one where the lady got arrested. I just sent it to your messenger. And if I can
Is that the one where she got arrested?
Yes.
All right, let me get this.
It was Queens, New York.
Wow. There ain't nothing surprises me about New York, Michelle. I mean,
it was $1 million house. Which I sent
absolutely, Jill. Jill said maybe people should stop hiring them. Absolutely. Well, I mean, just think about it. Put yourself in those shoes. I mean, talking right here locally, you had an incident with some illegals, just about this time last year. So, I mean, put yourself in them shoes. You go to the grocery store and come back, and they're in your house, and you go to toss them from your home, and you get arrested. Not them, but even though you got no trespassing signs out here, as most of us do, they could still come in your house and take over your house because that's what our government has allowed to happen. I mean, that's just silliness. I'm
going to send you this one too because this one was actually on the news because Peter Doocy was asking this press secretary about it.
Did you send that to Michelle?
No, did I send it to Michelle? I meant to send it to
Well, no, I was just saying. She said, "Oh my God, $1 million home in here." So I didn't know if you had sent it to.
No, I sent it to you, and then I'm sending the other one with Peter Doocy where he's talking about this dude encouraging people to do it. Illegal immigrants, tell them not to sleep on the street, that they need to just find a house.
Trying to get this screen share here started so I could go over here. Is this the one on Messenger?
Yes.
Is that
so
the one?
First one I sent you? That's the one where the lady has the $1 million home, and they're arresting her for changing the locks.
The first one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the one you want me to pull up here?
You pull it up first, and then show the other one where Peter Doocy's asking. I mean, they show the TikToker that's the illegal immigrant that's encouraging others.
Let's see if I can get this up here, guys. I ain't got no.
It's something everybody needs to be aware of.
How about that? A squatter standoff. A property owner confronts a group of people she says moved into her $1 million home in Queens, and our cameras were rolling as dozens of officers showed up.
Several people were taken away in handcuffs, and one of those arrested may surprise you.
Investigative reporter Dan Krauth joins us now with more on what happened. Tell us, Dan.
Well, this is a very big growing problem. I've received dozens of tips from viewers about this in just the past week. I went to do what I thought was going to be a routine interview. Instead, we capture what police and property owners are dealing with on a daily basis.
I have video of you. What is the situation? But they are house, man. Relax.
To understand how this day ended,
We need the police right away.
with multiple 911 calls and arrests, we have to start at the beginning.
Adele, the hardest question is how do you say your name?
We met Adele Andaloro outside the home her parents left her in Flushing, Queens. She's in the process of selling it.
No, he locked it.
But she's been locked out. She claims squatters moved in on February 6th and refused to leave.
What's it like being here knowing you can't go inside of your own home?
It's enraging. It really is.
In New York, squatters have rights after 30 days.
By the time that someone does their investigation and they do their work and their job, we'll be well over the 30 days, and this man will have stolen my home. And now she's back.
Just after wrapping up our interview, a woman showed up.
What are you doing in the house? Are you renting this house? Why are you here?
She unlocked the front door, saw our cameras, and took off.
It's open. Let's go in the house. It's open.
Adele and her daughter, with the property deed in hand, went inside.
This is my furniture. These are my curtains.
She didn't just find her belongings inside.
There's a man sleeping right there. Get out of my house.
She found 2 men.
How long have you lived here?
I moved here about 2 days ago.
They've called the police on me, and I've called the locksmith. I didn't come in illegally. The door was open.
Police started interviewing neighbors and looking for documents.
Do you have something that shows that you've been here for 30 days?
They took the man who told me he had been renting for 2 days out in handcuffs
They got one out.
and escorted the other guy off the property.
Now you're afraid to come out.
I'm not coming out. This house is empty. This is my home. My locksmith is on the corner waiting to change my locks. And it's not fair. It's not fair that I, as the homeowner, should be having to go through this.
Minutes later, a locksmith showed up, but police gave her a warning before they left.
I may end up in handcuffs today if this man shows up here and says that I have illegally evicted him. I said to them, let him take me to court the way I've been told to take him to court. But today, I'm not leaving my house.
Less than 10 minutes after police left and the locks were changed, the man who claims to be the one actually leasing the house shows up.
Call the police again.
With the other guy, police took off the property.
Do you see this? This guy just literally broke down my door. Broke through myself and my daughter to get in here. This guy just forced himself into my house. Yes, he did. And so did you. You broke through the front door.
The man called the police on her.
So why is it that I have to leave and he doesn't have to leave?
Because technically he can't be kicked out. We need to go to court.
They consider this a landlord-tenant issue. And by law, it has to be handled through the housing court, not with police.
If you own this house, you would not want her inside.
I don't own it.
Exactly,
Yes.
she does.
Yes, but then once again, you should know how the law works.
I do know how it works.
There's rules to it. As you got to go to court and send the civil court.
He says he signed a lease in October, but wouldn't tell us with who.
I got proof longer than that.
Show us the proof.
But who are you for me to show? I showed the cops.
Dan with Channel 7 News. If you don't want to show it, you don't want to show it.
Come here, bro. I like that.
I would like to see it.
He didn't show me a lease.
This is a bill.
A bill for work he says he had done to the house. He didn't show police a lease either.
The police department doesn't have a lease?
No.
He's got no documentation.
Just bills.
So Adele, you're getting arrested right now?
Being arrested.
For what?
For being in my own home.
And where's your lease?
She's fighting the house. It's not her house anymore.
My deed
That's
is
what
current
it's told.
and legal.
Arrested for unlawful eviction. She changed the locks on a man who claims he lives there.
So how does this all end then? When do you
The
leave?
way it ends is
So it's her house.
My money that I put into the house,
Her
pay me
house.
the money, and I'll
She
leave.
has the deed.
Or send me to court, and we deal with the judge.
He cannot provide a lease.
It's not that simple.
I mean, that's wild. That's what I was, as I was watching there. So it's her house, and she was arrested because she kicked people out of her house.
She was trying to sell the house. And the one guy said he'd only been renting it for 2 days, and the other guy tried to, but he couldn't provide a lease. That's the thing. I don't know how they arrested her when he couldn't provide a lease agreement. That's ridiculous.
I mean, like I said, that's in New York, so nothing really surprises me there.
Well, go show the other one though, because this guy's encouraging it all across the United States.
And this is the Ducey video.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see if we can get Ducey pulled up here.
I think they're going to show you the TikToker that's actually.
There is a Venezuelan migrant with 500,000 followers on TikTok who's telling border crossers they can live in empty houses in this country. Would President Biden support a law that would make that kind of squatting illegal?
I have not seen that TikTok video, so I can't comment on that. Go ahead, Akila. Oh, maybe not. Okay.
So basically,
Oh, so that wasn't the video. Let me send you it.
so I don't know what we just watched then.
That's
So,
Peter Ducey calling her out on
but
it.
at the same time,
And I'll
that's
show you.
that's him basically saying that anybody that if there's a house and they feel that it's vacant, even if you're just going to the grocery store, they feel that it's vacant, they can come into the house.
There it is. I just sent it to you.
I mean, it's You right, Mammy. This world is going nuts. It is. Now, which one's this? Is this the?
That's the illegal telling others to. I don't know, Jill. That's what I'm wondering.
Invadir una casa en United States. Ya que me enteré que existe una ley que dice que si una casa no está habitada, podemos expropiarla. Capichi, muchachos, aquí en United States también se aplica la de invasión de terreno. Y creo que ese será mi próximo negocio. Invadir casas abandonadas. Ya que me he buscado unos códigos con mis amigos africanos. Y me dijeron que ya llevan como 7 casas expropiadas.
I don't know if it is or
Y
not.
como dice el dicho, papi,
I can't see it. It's so
hay
small
que
on the phone.
buscar la vuelta. Y la vuelta ahorita mismo es invadir casas. Ya que nos encontramos en situación de calle.
So if you see the translation up there, it says, we can invade any house in the USA.
Well, you just said the words, and I'm going to say, "Has there I don't know what I just said, but what I meant to say was, you see this. This is America, and each American has one of these. So
Well, I think
if you want to come in and invade any house, and obviously you can in New York, but if you want to come and invade any house, maybe come to Eastern Kentucky, and let's see how good you are there. Oh boy, let's find out what you really can do."
I think there's a castle law. People look that up, but Michelle has a good point here. How do you leave your house to go to work?
Absolutely. Oh, if that's the case, Michelle said, "Do you know what state that's in?" Oh boy, let me get back here. Well, technically, if you live in the state of New York, you can't. Who said that? Kentucky squatter rights. God, well, you guys can see it there in the comments. I didn't even know there was a such thing as Kentucky squatter rights, but obviously they are.
I think what I've understood is you have to have knowledge of them being there. I think that's how the law is, but I'm not sure. I don't care. If somebody's in your house, they're not supposed to be there.
I agree with what Richard said here. That don't work in a small town, just like the song says.
Yeah.
Try that in a small town. That's exactly what I was thinking too. It's like if you think that you could just walk in anybody's house and take over because you see it happening on TikTok, or New York's allowing it, or everywhere exactly you're seeing this happening at, then more power to you is all I can say.
We really need to be concerned though, because another thing is Tyson's Food. Look what they're doing, shutting down their factory and.
Oh yeah. I don't know if everybody had heard that or not, but Tyson Food, which is a part of, and I know there's some Tyson Food products locally.
They are a big seller of chicken. I mean, that's a huge seller of chicken.
But they are laying off, what is it, like thousands of American workers, basically shutting down one of their plants, only to open it back up or build another one to hire only illegal immigrants to run it. So basically, Americans are losing their jobs so they can be filled with illegal immigrants. So I mean, it's not hard at this. It's not that hard to see at this point in the direction that this country is going.
4,200 employees.
4,200 employees being fired, or basically just let go or laid off, whatever you want to call it. So those positions can be filled by illegal immigrants. I mean, it's silly. This world is. I think Mammy said it a minute ago. This world's going crazy, and it's just proof that everything that you continue to see and hear makes it even crazier each time that you think about it. Michelle says people need to stop buying Tyson. Then
exactly, we have to exercise that right.
I mean, there has to be a line drawn eventually. I know you hear us talk about it all the time. on these lives where we say things like, you like Aaron Tippin said in the song, you have to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. Everybody's going to have to take a stand eventually, because if the American people eventually don't take a stand, these people are going to come in here and just take over. And that's exactly where we're headed right now. Look at New York.
Yes.
Melina said, I don't buy it anyway.
I
What have we
have
got
bought
here?
it. I bought their chicken a
I've
lot.
ate
Their
them
frozen chicken.
Is
But,
this a video?
No, I mean, you can just show what the
Okay.
title is there.
Let's see if we can pull this up here. But Tyson Food to hire 52,000 migrants after massive layoffs in Iowa. And, that's a Fox Business story, looks like there.
They're also talking about shutting down 2 plants in Florida. I think one in
So,
Florida
I mean,
and one somewhere else.
For anybody that was thinking that, wondering about that, I mean, it's just silly. It's silliness at this point. I've bought frozen chicken too. I mean, I told Deb the other day, I said, it's going to come to the point to where, chicken or anything like that, people's going to have to start raising chicken. If you don't already, I mean, of course we all do, but you're going to have to start raising your own food and everything, or hunting and fishing, getting out and doing it the way that it's supposed to be done, because you ain't going to be able to buy. I mean, just think about it. If you hire illegals who's already on videos talking about how they're going to invade your homes, would you want to eat something from a plant where they fixed it? I mean, they can lace it with anything, do whatever they want to try to take the American people out. I mean, it's just
the fact that American workers would get laid off to hire illegal, undocumented.
Illegal. Meaning they're not here. They're not here
They come in
documented.
the right way, right.
They don't have the documentation to be here the right way. And you've heard me and Matthew, multiple times on here say that we're not against people coming to this country the right way. You come in, you follow the process, do all the documentation, whatever, and nobody will never say a word to you.
Didn't they invade the border? Didn't you tell me that?
Yeah. Nobody will never say a word. Tim Farmer on Kentucky Afield, the former Kentucky Afield. Tim Farmer on KET, the former Kentucky Afield guy. Michelle says a lot of people have started gardening, younger people. I mean, you have to. At this point, there's no other choice but to start gardening. Well, Larry brought up an interesting point. I just found that out yesterday. In the state of Kentucky, you can't hunt or fish on your own property under a law that was passed last year if you own less than 5 acres of land and you've got a farm pond on it, you have to have a fishing license to be able to fish on it. I mean, it's got a couple of different, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Regulations on under the 5 acres, but if you own more than 5 acres, you're exempt. Exempt's the word I'm looking for.
But under 5 acres, if you have a 2-acre lot and you have a pond on it that you stock, according to what they've written, you have to have a fishing license to fish on in your own pond that you stock. That's ridiculous.
Says Dan and Lisa Deaton says, Old Timer said the other day, if you can raise a garden and farm meat, you better start doing so. So, absolutely. I mean, at this point, you better add in everything that you can to your gardens and stuff when you start raising them, because it's just silliness. Well, as Jill said, stupid. It's... I don't know.
Well, I think that we're going to have to start standing up more. It's just like with Tyson Foods. Don't buy the food. The big message you can send Tyson Foods is don't buy their brand. Don't buy an off-brand or whatever. I've bought Great Value. I'm not a big Wally World supporter either, but I brought Great Value. Or buy it in the grocery store. It's probably better for you anyway than what's on the rack rather than what's processed in a freezer.
Just got a message, guys, from Jim. He said he's about 10 minutes from coming in, about 10 minutes out. So, Jim will be joining us shortly. And Matthew is still missing in action. So, momentarily we'll send out a search party for Matthew.
Melina, you need to build a little greenhouse like me and Michael are trying to do. We ever get it put together, we'll show you, and you can do one out there. It's just a little small one, but you can make vegetable stuff in it.
I can't have a garden because I feed too many turkey, deer, and squirrels. I'll eat. Well, absolutely. I mean, there you go. All those deer and everything that you're feeding out there, you know, that'll keep your freezer full and, you know, keep you fed along the way, even if you don't have the garden. One day things will get better, but it's going to get a lot worse before then, Richard said. And that's right, too. You know, I got a feeling that Richard is right on the same page as
He's more
everybody
hopeful
else.
than me. I think we're headed in Venezuela's path. We just think.
Well, I've said it from back in 2019. In 2019, when I first started doing podcasting and stuff, before I ever even started doing the live videos and stuff, you know, I said, you know, we were headed in the direction of socialism at that point. And then, you know, we get the president that I said we would be headed that way in, and now you're seeing exactly what's happening in the country. Imagine what another 4 years would do.
Stupid's already there.
Yeah, I think. Well, Larry says it. You know, if a certain person I guess you can say gets reelected, or anybody in that cabinet gets elected, then it's over with. I mean, you know, in 4 more years, you know, Venezuela will look like a paradise compared to what America will look like, because you'll have every kind of squatter, every kind of crazy in the world just coming up and knocking the fire out of you, stealing everything you got, because they'll have more rights than the American people will. Yeah, Jim actually just tried to call me, so I don't know.
Maybe he's ready to roll.
I don't know if he's trying to come in. Let's see here. But I know he had messaged me and said 10 minutes, so.
Yeah, Miranda, that's kind of what I feel like. I feel like we're on a path of destruction, and
Jill says we are screwed whoever takes over as president, and that's probably true. We're so far gone with this one that I don't know if we can ever dig back out of it or not. Honestly,
in all honesty, I think though that Trump makes us look stronger. Right now, we're so weak. I think other countries are just looking at us like they're just salivating.
Well, right now, I mean, a lot of people may not agree with me, and you know, it may upset a few people, but you know, I see it every day. I remember as a child growing up, and even, you know, just 10, 15 years ago, America was strong. You know, America was a thriving nation, everything like that. Right now, America's weak on all fronts, from the government to the military, you know, and that's not no disrespect, you know, to anybody in the military. I'm just saying, you know, military-wise, a lot of these other countries that's got these powerhouse militaries are just laughing, you know, at us right now. Not because of, you know, basically the people that run the military. You know, we've got men dressing as women in military suits, you know, running around trying to get people to take orders. I mean, it's just, we've got stress cards in the military now. If a drill sergeant's up in your ear screaming and hollering in your face or whatever, you can hold up a stress card now and they have to back off of you. I mean,
but
you know,
if you're
seriously?
in war, do you think the Iraqis actually pay attention? Hang on, I'm stressed. Hold on. Stop the war.
Yeah, I mean, and Miranda hit it dead on right there. What I've said, I even was telling you yesterday about it. You know, I don't think the threat is going to come from an outside source. The threat is going to be destroyed from within. You know, any type of attacks or any type of anything that's going to happen is already here. It's planning inside the country right now. I don't know. It's just, see if we can get any updates on some people here. It's saying that Jim's on, but I'm not seeing him anywhere. When was that sent? trying to find him here. I just got a message that says he's on. But he should be joining us any time now. You got me all red faced now, everybody. I get started talking about all this crap and seeing the country that I love and respect. And as you see, you know, got the colors here, got on the logos, got the USA here. You know, the American flag is, you know, everything that everybody's supposed to stand for, everybody's supposed to respect. And now knowing that, you know, the flag is, hell, they can burn the flag now in a public square and, you know, everybody just lets it go. Everybody just forgets about it. Looking for him here. I still don't see him. I got a message that he was in, but I'm not finding him just yet. So.
I agree, Richard.
Let me get back over here to see what did Richard say?
Did you find it?
Yeah, like Richard said, you know, everybody's going to have to stand together. He said he's had people laugh at him because I think there will be a war right here, I believe. Yeah. You know, it's at this point, I would say a war inside this country is just, you know, at one point in time, I'd say it's probably a couple of years away. But at this point, I would almost say that a war within this country is days away. I mean, could be any time. Could break loose in the next 15 minutes. You know, we're having an invasion at the southern border. Plus, the government is so corrupt and everything. I mean, you know, it could, and everybody's so divided. All Americans are so divided that it's just going to break loose. And it could happen at any time. Larry says people won't stand up. They're afraid of being called a racist.
I agree with Miranda.
I'm trying to find him. Where the heck is he?
Who, Jim?
Jim's trying to get in, guys, so he'll be coming in here any second. I'm just waiting to see him and bring him in. What did Miranda say? I've always said there's those that disrespect the flag. I've obviously never. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I know this reporter. Do you? I know this.
Know her.
I know this reporter that, you know, supposedly wrote this article. The way it was supposed to be written. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, the way she was told. She's very efficient. She said the media is actively trying to light the fuse. I think that's true. They only report what they want to be reported and one-sided. They don't give the facts anymore.
Well, it's showing that he's on his end, but I ain't bringing him in on this end. Let's see. Let me try something here. I'm going to try to leave the room and then come back in. We got any new comments coming in? I'm not able to see anything right now. Where we at here?
He said what Melina said, right, and then Miranda said, "Yeah, you guys know me. Haha, thanks for your support."
Hey, we're always going to support you.
Always. We appreciate a report.
Here we go.
Reports the facts.
Here we go, guys.
All right.
Hang on, guys. I think we have a connection. Finally. I don't know what happened, but there he is. There's the man of the hour.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. It's called user error. Just kidding.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. I've had to sit here and just blab for the last 30 minutes or so no big deal. I got myself worked up. My face got
oh, shit. Well, let's see if we can unwind you. I'll start out by saying everything's going to be okay.
We were talking about the squatters and the people able just to walk into your house and take over anything they want to do and all this and the crap at the border. I got myself all worked up. I said, I got to save some of this till when Jim gets on here.
When did that become a thing? Because I know I grew up, my family's Air Force, my mom and my dad was, rode motorcycles. So, take that where you want to. We would just beat people's ass, kick them out of our house.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
No calling the police, no doing nothing. You're getting your ass beat and you're getting thrown out on the fucking street. So when did we stop protecting our own property, I wonder? What was that one?
Actually, the one that you showed called the police and reported.
Yeah, I played a video there a little bit ago. There was a woman that came home and found illegals or whatever in her house, and she kicked them out of her house and got arrested because she kicked them out of her house.
And changed the locks. They said she'd have to have them evicted.
I don't get it. See, and here's the problem, guys. If you notice, she got arrested. So that's a problem. We have the ones that are in charge of our laws, or I wouldn't even say that, in charge of the ones that can arrest you or not arrest you, arresting you for what? So what side are they actually on? Right. This is Satan's world. He's got control of a lot. So, I hear all this hoopla about, the sheriffs will protect this. Well, we'll see. We'll see exactly
where. So, I said, not here. They won't. So.
No, not there. Yeah. So I mean, it's this is nothing's new under the sun, right? So I'm sure this has happened sometime before.
Well, we had someone, I think it was my mom there a little while ago when we were talking about that squatter there in New York. She actually sent a thing, and it was a big old document. I mean, it'd be hard for me to pull it all up here on the screen, so you can only get so much. But there's actually a Kentucky squatter's rights, of what the rights are in the state of Kentucky. I mean, everybody'd have to go back and read that in there. But, it's just crazy to me to think that.
What did you take from that? What was in there that you remember?
Well, it's just silliness that if you leave your home, and I don't know how it would be there, but if you leave your home and one of them come into your house, all they've got to do is say, I'm a squatter, and you can't get rid of them.
Well,
where do those rights come from is what I can't understand.
Yeah, well, that person would get and then he would be knocked out. Okay.
Well, right before you come in here, I said, there's I said I probably get kicked off before Jim makes it in. I said, but if I come home and I find it, I said they're undocumented, so there's not going to be no documentation when they disappear.
I know somebody that robbed somebody sometime.
I said I've got the shirt on that says a lot of people around here have these, and being from a small community that used to be a coal mining, booming coal town. If you've ever watched Yellowstone, you know what being taken to the train station means. So that would happen here, and nobody would never know about it. So
yeah. Well, it's so yeah, and that's the kind of, I don't know how we've gotten to this point. Well, a bunch of, excuse my language, a bunch of pussies out there, of course. That's how we got to this point.
You're right.
You know,
You're right.
participation trophies in the 90s and the 2000s, and now we've raised a bunch of you know what. So, but it's like everything. That pendulum swings this way, and hopefully it'll come back this way a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. So what about this Trump shit about them $500 million trying to make him go bankrupt?
Yeah. I don't know.
I saw it. You know my thought. You know, I know it's all a big game anyway. Politics is a big game for them anyway. You know, the ones at the top, the ones that are controlling everything. We're just little, little chess pieces down here, little pawns. They don't care that, and some of them. I mean, I know they realize it, but they don't care either what they're doing to all the little ones down here that are. Because when Trump was in office, I was killing it,
right.
Killing it. He was good for my bank account, right? But so somebody asked me the other day, so somebody said, who you voting? I was like, oh yeah. So I was sitting with somebody goes, who are you voting for? I said, well, I don't vote anymore. Last person I voted for was Ronald Reagan. I don't vote because votes don't count. Your presidents are selected; they're not elected. And I think at this point we all understand that because if you look, if you believe everything, Trump should have been in office in 2020. But they stole the election, and what did we do about it? I'm doing my quotations here. What did the patriots, so-called patriots, do about it?
Nothing.
Bingo! Ding, 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 ding. Just like the squatters, they're not doing anything. Ding, 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 ding. So we can talk. We can do all this, but I'm like, listen, doesn't matter who's in office. We're going to one world government. You know my stance. But here's the thing with Trump. Do I want him back in office? Hell yeah, I do, because I was killing it. He was good for my bottom line for sure. But other than that, he's part of he's part of the problem. They all are. It doesn't matter if you know their name; they're up there. So, and that's the thing. That's the thing with the globalist agenda. We're all headed to one world government. We're Christians here, and we believe in the Bible, and which most of us do anyway, or what's said in the Bible. We are headed to a one world governmental system and a one world religion. We just get there slower. They assuming slower with the Republican office, but it's not true because we get there faster with the Republican office, with the Republican in office. And the examples I have for you, just so you kind of know that I'm not just whistling Dixie here. The examples I have, I'll go all the way back to President Nixon, who took us off the gold standard, which then gave the government permission to write checks when there's nothing back in our fiat currency. And why did he do that? Well, because they all know we're going to a one world governmental system. Then Ford got in office after Nixon was out. Ford, and then Jimmy Carter, of course, we know, peanut guy. He didn't do shit except fuck up Iran or whatever it was over there. I think it was Iran, right? And then President Reagan gets in office. I'm an '80s kid. I love the '80s. Listen, you hear your grandparents and your parents talk about, man, the decade, the 50s. Well, I guess 50s were probably the closest because that was right after the war and everything was booming in the 50s. That was probably the best decade next to the 60s, although we weren't there. I mean, next to the 80s. But I was a Reagan kid. Loved Reagan. Everything it was positiveness, right? Wasn't the 80s about positive? The music was great, everything. But Reagan, what did Reagan do? Do we know? He did a lot, but there's a couple of things, two major things. He made it so vaccine companies cannot be sued. Yep. What's that about? Yeah, look that up, folks. And then he also had the war on drugs, and the war on drugs I was in California for about 12 years, and the war on drugs was a farce. It arrested all the wrong kind. There's no war on drugs because the CIA was and we all know this now. Have we known this 35 years ago? You think the people would have put up with it? CIA selling drugs, bringing crack into Los Angeles and Chicago, documented. So there's no war on drugs. There's too much money in it. All right, so that's what Reagan did. Then we get Bill Clinton in office. Clinton wasn't bad for a Democrat. I mean, that's right. Clinton's a pragmatist. He is a populist. he goes he wants to be popular. Is his mentality. So he got his dick sucked in the White House by Monica Lewinsky. And he had a couple of things, but nothing major he did under his watch. I mean, there was no major. 1992, the Republican Congress passed. It was welfare reform. You guys remember that? So all these things happened in the 90s. And then he gets out. And then, oh man, George, but another Republican, because remember what I said. Nixon, gold standard, Republican. Then Carter, not much happened. Then Reagan, vaccine companies can't be sued. How many freedoms are you? How many freedoms are you people losing now that you got that shot in your arm and you're dying because your blood's clotting because there's snake venom in it? And you can't sue the vaccine companies? Thank you, Ronald Reagan. Then I talked about Clinton. What did Clinton do? Not much. As with respect to losing your freedoms. Now keep this in the bubble of losing freedoms, right? Okay? You lose most of your freedoms on a Republican president. Then you get to George Bush, right? Old W. He's evil. His whole family's evil. W gets in there. What happened? 9/11. We all know 9/11 is an inside job. Islam had zero to do with 9/11. Okay, zero. This was the engine of the New World the New World Order engine being turned on. Let me give you a little background real quick. 1989. What I'm gonna tie this all together. It'll take me about 5 minutes. So listen up. What happened in 1989 on November 9th, 1989? What was a big thing that happened under Ronald Reagan? That was the Berlin Wall coming down. Remember, guys? Right? That was such a big deal. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Okay? What did that do? That was the rebirth of the New World Order. Now, let me tie this into the Bible. This is the beast wounded to the head, okay, and then it died and came back to life, and the world gazed after the beast, right? Are we familiar with that verse in the Bible? Anybody? Are we familiar with that verse in the Bible? Hello? You are? Okay. All right. So 1989, the Berlin Wall comes down. That's the rebirth of the New World Order. Now, when I give my talks, people are like, well, what do you mean rebirth? Well, then I say, well, the first order of things, and this is why I know Islam is going to be the one world religion. Okay? Islam, the Ottoman Empire was the first order. This is the beast wounded to the head. It died in 1923. That was the Ottoman Empire, reigned for about 700 years, from 1200 to 1923. This is in Revelations. The beast died. That was the first order. That was the Ottoman Empire. It reigned. It controlled Earth, the whole of the Earth. Then it died, and then the Berlin Wall comes down. That was the beast. The beast wound was healed. Okay, the beast wound was healed and it came back to life. That was the Berlin Wall coming down. The rebirth of the New World Order. Now, how did I start this conversation out? All of it is you lose most of your freedoms under a Republican president. And why? Because it has to be our guy. We're not going to get mad at our guy for making us get a vaccine to get a fucking job. We're not going to get mad at our guy if we can't sue the vaccine company. We're not going to get mad at our guy if he doesn't drain the swamp. Right? So fast forward. So the Berlin Wall coming down is the rebirth of the New World Order. Clinton, and then we get to Bush. 9/11 is an inside job. We all know it. But why did they have to do that? Because do you think it was a coincidence? Sorry, let me back up here. Berlin Wall came down when? 11/9, right? Now remember, in occultism, in Freemasonry, occultism, they use numerology, ley lines, dates are very important. Okay, understand that. So what is November 9th? What is that in numbers, guys? Tell me.
11/9.
Okay, and what's opposite of 11/9?
9/11.
Okay, so 11/9. Now you can look this up. I'm telling you everything factual. Write down it. And people, when I give my talks, people are like, "Oh man, got to listen to me." I've been doing this for 20 years now. On 11/9, 1989, Berlin Wall came down. And then what happened on 9/11? Nope. Don't say 9/11, 2001. What happened on 9/11, 1990? Well, are we all familiar with George Bush's dad, who gave his New World Order speech? Have you guys seen that? Where he talks about we're going to have a new world order? Okay. Look at, what'd you say?
What'd you say over there?
I think I've seen bits of it.
Okay. All right. So George Bush Sr. gave his New World Order speech. So in occultism, they use manifestation magic, lesser magic, and chaos magic. Okay. So lesser magic is what is predictive programming, stuff that comes through the TV. The Simpsons is a great example of that. The Terminator movies are good. Back to the Future, great. These are lesser magic. These are great examples of it. Then you have chaos magic. Chaos magic is when they blow things up, the Pentagon, because what they do is they put all this energy into the Georgia Guidestones last summer, 2 summers ago. They put all this energy into these buildings, and then they blow them up to release it. All that evil gets released, okay? Now stay with me. 11/9, November 9th, the Berlin Wall comes down, rebirth of the New World Order, first order things with the Ottoman Empire, beast wounded to the head, comes back to life, Revelation 13, on November 9th, 1989. Then on 9/11, 1990, George Bush Dad gives his New World Order speech. That is called 3 types of magic: chaos magic, lesser magic, and manifestation magic. George Bush gives his New World Order speech, and he manifests the New World Order. He did it twice. First time was on 9/11, 1990. And then what happened to, Anna said, yes, I did. Great. And what happened 11 years later on 9/11, 2001? 9/11, right? So now when that happens, so now I'm going to tie all this in. So you lose most of your freedoms under a Republican president because Republicans wouldn't hurt us. No. No. George Bush gets in office. Inside job, 9/11. What do we get out of 9/11, guys? What came from that psyops, that big chaos magic that the occultists use? We got NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, TSA, NSA, Jade Helm. All of these control mechanisms came out of the what? Patriots? What's it called? Patriot Act. Yeah, Patriots. How many? So we got this fancy name that's a Patriot Act, and look at all the freedoms they took from us. Republicans, okay? So, Patriot Act. Yep, Miranda, you're exactly right. So, George Bush, you think it was a coincidence that his dad gives a New World Order speech in 1990, and then 11 years later, which is a master number in numerology for the occultists, 11 years later, 9/11 happens. You think it's a coincidence his son's in office? No, it's not. So presidents are selected, not elected, folks. Understand that. So 9/11, 2001, we get NDAA, Jade Helm, TSA, NSA, all the control mechanisms. And then on George Bush's way out, what happened, folks? Come on. Stay with me. What happened on George Bush's on his way out? 2007. The big financial crash, right? Okay, so we had 2 major things bookending George Bush's tenure as president. The last one, financial crash of 2007-8. I'm in banking, that took, so many freedoms away, guys. You have no idea what it did on the back end, okay? Then Obama gets, exactly right, Miranda. Then Obama gets in office. Obama didn't do shit. He had one pretty big thing, which was health care, but that's not like a Republican in your face freedoms. I'll get to Trump in a minute, but in your face freedoms, that George Bush Patriot Act, NDA, TSA, NSA, JADA. Do I have to go over them again? All those freedoms are right in your face. Then Obama gets in office. Health care. Okay, I haven't noticed any of those freedoms. I haven't noticed much freedoms that he's taken with respect to in-your-face type of stuff. Yes, it has to be our guy, guys, our Patriots. Let's go, America, right? So, and then we get Trump in office. And I hope he gets back in office because I want to make some money, right? But we get Trump in office. Then Trump has the COVID crisis, right? And then numerology, folks, he handed over power to FEMA on 3/13. I got my numbers right here. That's another. I have all this laid out, okay? Because he's an occultist. They're all, if you know their name, they're in the cabal. I need people to really, really understand that. There's just different levels of who they are and where they are. There's a pecking order, guys, and the pecking order ends at the Jesuits in Rome, along with the Black Pope, the Gray Pope, and the White Pope. That's a different topic. So, why did I start all this thing out? You lose most of your freedoms under a Republican president, and the New World Order and one world religion and the one world government coming. So then Trump gets in office. Now, what do we have here, guys? Let's recap. We have Nixon, gold standard. We have Reagan, tear down this wall, the rebirth of the New World Order. Then Reagan, you can't sue because you can't sue a vaccine company, and the war on drugs. Reagan, freedoms, right? Then Clinton, nothing. Then Bush, bam, TSA, NSA, 9/11, TSA, NSA, Jane Helm, all those. And then financial crash. George Bush, Republican. George Bush on his way out, financial crash. Then Obama, healthcare. Haven't noticed much of anything that Obama really took for me that I could actually go, oh, fucking dick, right? So, and then Trump. Trump gets in office, folks. Then he starts going, and boy, I get this all the time. Well, he had to do it. Goddamn, boy, don't you know that? Well, no, he didn't. He made it. He said you have to get a shot to work. He shut down America. How many freedoms did we lose when I couldn't go to fucking work? Right. And no one said a goddamn thing. I was like, fuck, look what he's doing. He shut, and if he was a red-blooded American patriot, because sometimes the roots of trees need to be watered by the blood of patriots, right? You're goddamn right it does, but that will never happen because a bunch of fucking pussies are in this country. But remember, here's the thing: he made it so you can't work. You couldn't go to fucking work. We couldn't walk down the street. We couldn't do shit. And then I hear, well, he had to do what they said. No, he fucking didn't. He could have said, fuck you, I'm going to leave America open. We're going to do what we want to do, motherfuckers. But did he? Fuck no, he didn't. Did he drain the swamp? No, he had Scarf Lady and Fauci still around. So get a little riled up here. And this guy, I'm thinking about people fucking squatting in your goddamn house. Fuck them. You know, it's just all upside down. So you lose most of your freedoms under a Republican fucking president. And people need to understand, because forget the Republican Democrat. They're all the same. They are all the fucking same. They're all globalists and they're Satanists and they're occultists. Period. End of fucking story. So Trump gets in office. And then I can't go to fucking work. You can't see your kids at school. You can't walk across the street to see your neighbors because of some fake-ass virus that they released on everybody that had snake venom, and people are dying suddenly. Okay? So I try to get people off this Republican-Democrat thing, man, because they are not... that is for the sheep at the bottom to think you have a choice. But you don't have a choice, because you have to remember, the Bible is real. Satan is real. Yahweh is real. Yeshua, your Savior, is real. We're going to a one world government. Doesn't matter who's in office. Okay? Now, you can remove that, push that to the side, and then go, hey, I want Trump in office. Jim Foster wants Trump in office because I was fucking killing it. I could pay my bills. I could stock up on whatever I needed to. Okay? So economics aside, they're all globalists and occultists. Okay, so 30 more seconds. Let me wrap this up. You lose most of your freedoms under a Republican president, and remember, Republican, Democrat, they're all the same. Gold standard, Reagan, then Bush with TSA, Jade Helm, financial, then Trump. Shut down America. And when I give my talks, I say this for the end because there's a knee-jerk reaction from some folks in the audience. Fuck goddamn Trump, fuck, I love Trump. Yeah, I say it for the end for a reason, because I know that's going to happen, because people get all upset. And I'm like, if you listen to what I'm saying, everything I say is true, factual, and it makes sense, but you got to let it sink in. They're all globalists. Doesn't matter who's in office, right? So that's where I'm at now. Anyway, so that's what I mean. But where are the Patriots? Where are the Patriots at? You guys listen. There's one thing that Jim Foster is. I'm consistent. I was screaming. I'll show you this on my phone. Maybe you'll be able to see it. I was screaming at the top of my lungs in March when they started. I said, "Do not wear a mask." I mean, this is March. The month it happened, I was going, "Don't fucking listen to them. This is a bunch of bullshit. It's a sham." My wife got mad at me for using that word, sham. I'm like, it's a biggest sham ever. This is another 9/11, folks. This virus, they're killing us. You know, China may have been in cahoots with China, but it doesn't matter if you're Russia, China, Yugoslavia, South Brazil. They're all globalists. They all go to the same fucking parties, man. So yeah. So anyway, so that's my rant. And you got me on it because it started with the squatters. I'm just thinking, God damn it, where are the patriots at? Where are the gun? They'll sit back fat and happy with their beer in their fucking hand tailgating, but they won't do a goddamn thing about it.
So do you remember when I said my blood pressure was high?
Yeah.
now we know whose blood pressures are working on them now. So you're rolling. I'm going to get you over to something else that everybody's been waiting on. I actually briefly mentioned just a tad bit about it in the beginning, but I said I got to save that for Jim because I want to hear your take on it. But the biggest talk in America, besides the southern border and the illegals and squatters, is the April 8th solar eclipse. I said, I cannot wait to hear Jim's take on this. I said, because this goes right along with everything we've talked about over the years, you know, with you being on.
Yeah, exactly right. This is Revelations. This is the signs in the sky, right? So are you guys familiar with what happened in 2017 when the eclipse came through?
Yes, sir.
Familiar. Okay. Yeah. So
Salem.
Yeah, Salem. You know what Salem means, right? In Hebrew.
Peace.
Means peace. Yeah. So shalom. Peace. Yes. So and I used to know a lot of Hebrew as a kid. My mom's Jewish, so I guess my blood that makes me Jewish. But we're really not the chosen people, and I'll talk about that in a minute if you want me to. But yeah, so it went over Salem, and then this one's coming over. And how many cities now? And here's the thing: I'll be the first to admit that I don't know. Of course, I don't know everything. No one does, right? I'm smart enough to know that I'm the smartest guy in the room when I'm the only guy in the room. Okay, so understand that the Bible, the Bible, our Earth. This is our Earth right here. For those of you who don't know, we live on a flat Earth. Okay, this right here is we're here now. This people say, well, that's wrong. How do you get here? This is no one knows the exact positioning of the, and we have a firmament, right? So understand that the stars. I'm sorry, the moon counts the hours. The sun counts the hours. The moon counts the months, and the stars count the years. Okay, our sky is one big calendar, right? And in Deuteronomy and in Revelations, it also talks about signs in the sky, how God will communicate. So, is this a sign? Back to your question, what is this, right? You know, I'm a Christian. If you want to use that moniker, I believe. Let's put it this way: is Yeshua real? Jesus, yes. Is he our Savior? My Savior, anyway? Yes. Excuse me. So going with that premise, the sky is there will be signs in the skies, and he will. So with that said, Salem means peace in Hebrew. It's a shalom, but there's also Salem. different words, but it means the same. Excuse me. And then that happened 7 years ago, right? And how many cities did it go over? They say
7.
Bingo. Right? And then how many years later is this eclipse? 7. There you go. And then it's going over 7 cities called Nineveh, right? And then Nineveh, of course, means that, hold on just one sec.
He's worked himself up so much he's choked up
now. Yeah. So Nineveh, yeah. And then there's a big, and now is this a coincidence? And then there's a big X going over the United States, and it's the Tav. It's the first letter of the Alpha and Omega in Hebrew. And it's going over, and I've not researched this part yet, but I have some great friends that do all this, so I'm listening to what they're saying. In my notes, excuse me. It's going over if the X marks called rapture. And people are saying, well, the rapture is going to happen. And okay, there's no such word as rapture. It's harpazo. Means a catching away and lifting up, right? But to use everyone's verbiage, the rapture. The rapture can't happen until the third temple is being built or built in Jerusalem. That way Satan can sit on the seat of the throne of Satan and call himself God, Yahweh, right? That has to happen. So but what I believe this is a signal going at something. 2024 is going to be a crazy year, I think. I hope it's not, but you never know, right? What's my main theme is be prepared as best you can, right? Ammo, guns, water, friends, whatever it is, gold, silver, whatever. When there's no emergency if you're prepared, right? But so with the eclipse, I believe this is a sign, just to wake up, because I'm talking about Jonah and the whale. Now Nineveh was a city in Iraq. Was it Iraq, I think, or Iran? That Jonah was supposed to go preach Nineveh, and he was supposed to go preach to them in how many cities of Nineveh? It's going over 7, right? So we have 7, 7, 7, and then we have the 7 years of Daniel in the Bible, right? So yes, I believe this is a sign. I believe it means something. Now, what you extrapolate from that? Repent. Do good, I guess. Maybe try to wake other people up. Or is that part of it? Or is it both? That you guys better watch out, because 2024 is about to rock your world, right? So I believe it is something that's happening, that will happen. Now remember, from April 8th to May 18th, that's 40 days, because Jonah had 40 days, or no, he gave Nineveh 40 days to repent, and they did. And God held his wrath back from them. So yeah, is it a sign? Yes, it is. What's the outcome of all this? I wish I knew. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't wish I had the forethoughts of prophets or whatnot, because I think I'm happy or not. But but I do know to look at the signs and the trends, and that's why I know about Republicans and Democrats and occultists and signs and all that. It's because I've been studying it for 20 years now, 23 years. So yeah, but yeah, so be prepared. Whatever happens, it's going to happen. Have your family and friends available, and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk. I see here in the comments someone mentioned about terrorist threats. I have seen a lot of stuff saying that there's a lot of terrorist threats, possibly happening in different states during the time that the eclipse is going to happen on, what is that, on a Monday, on the 8th? Monday
the 8th, yeah. Well, there's a town here, it's called, Google it, Broken Bow, Oklahoma, southeastern Oklahoma. Kind of down by Hugo, Texas border, kind of down there.
What is that on a Monday?
Arkansas, Texas, and they have been posting signs. They've got the National Guard showing up. I think sheriffs are on, and I'm thinking, why Broken Bow, Oklahoma? There's nothing down there. I mean, it's a great area for vacation homes and crap like that. It's southeast Oklahoma. It's forest and nice roads. I mean, it's beautiful. But I'm like, what the heck's going on? So, and then I start getting into my reality in my head, or what I do know and how they do things, how the occultists move chess pieces. And is this a psyops down there? Are they trying to get us to focus over here? Like this Kate Middleton thing, right? Are they trying to take our eyes off of Russia or all that other stuff that may be going on? It's an onslaught, guys. The New World Order, the globalist agenda, they know what they're doing. Satan is control. They are smart, and we are easily distracted because I have seen no patriots go and really do anything about anything. But since since after 9/11, So, and here's the thing: patriot is an overused term. You don't have to tote a gun and shoot bullet or shoot guns and have American flag to be a patriot, but you need to have convictions to be a patriot. Okay, and I don't think a lot of people have convictions. I do, and then I go, well, what am I doing? Right? I always turn it back on me and say, what's my punk ass doing? Right? Yeah. So hey, I'm with everybody. I get it. It's tough.
Uh-oh. Hit the wrong button. Hang on just a second, guys. I hit the wrong button. There he is. No, I mean, you're right. I mean, we talk about that all the time, about even some things that's going on here locally in the county that we live in. You know, we talk about people that need to stand up, let their voices be heard on different things, and some do. You know, some do, some don't.
Yeah.
But you know, on a national level or even a state political level, you know, more people is going to have to stand and have their voice be heard, or you know, we're headed down the wrong path. Of socialism, you know, is knocking on the door a lot closer every day, and you know, along with the squatters and all this other terrorist threats and the invasion at the border, all this other stuff is, you know, going to only get worse if people don't stand up. And I know there's a lot of people from Texas, you know, that have moved here locally in Kentucky, here in Eastern Kentucky, because they said they just can't stand to be there anymore with all the illegal stuff. But they're starting to show up here now. So
that's what they're doing. They are trying to break down America, and get everybody just, you know, break it down. They got to break the system to make it easier. It's okay. Never let it. I'm sure you guys heard this. Who said this? Never let a good crisis go to waste. You know, that's what they did with the Patriot Act, with 9/11. Okay, so here, let me show you something. This is what I was screaming. This is March 6th. I'm like, can you say it? Yeah, March 16th. Hold on, let me get in front of the camera here.
There you go, right there. No, he's showing a picture.
And then hold on, let me do this one here. Okay. There we go. There we go.
And your blood will clot. So, and that was on what date?
That is March. There it is. Yeah, it's March 16th. March 16th, 2020, guys. March 16th.
So before any blood clots or anything would ever happen, you
had
already made that, right?
I made it here. I made this March 20th, 2016. I don't know if you can see it right below my picture there, but anyway, yeah, March 20th. Because I knew what was coming. I knew it. I knew that they're forcing you to get something in your body. And then I talked to a friend of mine in Washington, D.C., my cousin and my uncle at the time. You know, they're all Air Force, and had some conversations with some other people. And instinctively, I already knew what was coming. And I was screaming top of my lungs, do not get the COVID vaccine. This New World Order Satan shot will kill you. It's about population reduction. It's mRNA, and I was first one to talk about mRNA technology. Bioengineering that changes who you are genetically. They're messing with the God gene, the VMAT2 gene, and blood and all. And then my other post was, COVID is a sham. Do not believe anything you hear. It's all a lie. To usher in the New World Order's mandatory vaccines, digital currency, and your blood will clot. 2020, folks.
And that was a long time before any of that ever started happening. So.
Oh yeah. No, I know, because I knew as I said, at that point I've been studying, 20 years, and now I'm at my 24th year, I guess, or 23rd. Understanding who's in charge and what they do and how they do it and why they do it. So the why is simple. The why they do it simple. They want it. They don't care about us because it's all Satan. We are. Do you know in the Bible that Deuteronomy? What is it? Deuteronomy. I'm going to lose my verse here. This is why Satan rebelled. Lucifer, Beelzebub. This is why he rebelled, was because we as humans take special place over the angels when we get to heaven. I don't think a lot of people know that. The reason why Satan rebelled is because of the jealousy of us, and he's been fucking with us since day one. That is what Genesis 6 is about, folks. Genesis 6. It's about the Nephilim, about them coming down, sleeping with women, to the fallen, the watchers coming down, having sex with our women, with human women, and giving us giants like Gilgamesh, like Goliath. We've all heard of Goliath. These are the Nephilim. This is what Satan has been doing Since day one, he is fucking with our genes because we are perfectly made by Yahweh, and he doesn't like that, and that's why he rebelled. Was we take special place over them once we die and go to heaven? So yeah.
And which I'm headed into this. That's where I was headed next anyway, because I had a field day yesterday reading, the comments in one of your posts where basically you were being called a conspiracy theorist. I've been there for a long time.
Yeah.
You were also being told that you had no proof about the round or the flat Earth or none of this other stuff. That's when I text you, and I'm like, well, where's the proof of all this other stuff?
Oh, the right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, they're proof.
Brianne said here, I'm going to pull it up here so you can see it. She's talking about the chemtrails.
Chemtrails.
And I saw your post had a lot of the chemtrails on it, and they are absolutely horrible here. A couple of days, every other day, maybe, a couple of days a week here, the skies are absolutely filled with them.
Yeah.
The trend that I've noticed with them is when you see them, and I've narrowed it down to like within a 24 to 48 hour window, the weather changes. There's a weather change. It either rains, snows, wind blows, temperature drops, temperature rises. There's something with these chemtrails. Now, I've been called an idiot, everything else, because I believe that there's something in the sky. But I was like, why does some of these jets, let me pull this off here. Why do some of the jets, when you see it go over, they have, the stuff coming out of the back of them, and they evaporate almost instantly. And then you see these other ones that'll go from one side of the sky to the other, and these big old chemtrails that stay in the sky for hours, and then the weather changes, So you can call people stupid or say you have no proof, but, everybody's noticing it.
Hey, Brianne, by the way, tell her she can find me here. If you find that Jim Foster. That's where I'm at. Oh, there it is. Oh, wrong way. It's opposite. There we go. You see that? All right. So, Jim Foster. So here's the thing: the chemtrails should be a non-starter. If people would just look at John Brennan, CIA director on Obama, talks about aerosol injections in 2016, right? And then, did you see my post about the chemtrails? About the new laws that I think your state's in it. Hold on a minute. There's 5 states
in there, yeah.
Yeah, there's 5 states that are coming up with laws to outlaw Kentucky. Yep, Kentucky introduced HB 506 and SB 217. And then Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Illinois, South Dakota, and Connecticut. So I'm like, anybody that argues against chemtrails, and I've been talking about this chemtrail since fucking 1995. If anybody talks about chemtrails that they look like you have 3 eyes, it's like, listen, it's not me. Why are states? Why is Kentucky, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, South Dakota? Why are they making laws against aerosol injections? Right? So it's just crazy to me, and that's where cognitive dissonance comes in. Cognitive dissonance, and people are brainwashed, and brainwash is kind of an overused term. It doesn't take much to make somebody brainwashed, really. You just have to have a set of beliefs, and then you follow those beliefs. And if something changes, you're like, no, I don't believe it. So it's not hard once things are ingrained in you. But yeah, chemtrails should be a non-starter. It's like, no, don't talk about chemtrails if you think they're not real. Because they don't care about us. They don't care about us. And I always get this, guys. Well, aren't they doing it to themselves? They don't care about themselves either. They know they only have a short time. You think they're immortal? They're here for a purpose.
Yeah, there's been pilots, airplane pilots that talk about what the chemtrails are. They've what do they call them? Whistleblowers, have came out and said, exactly what they are and how they've been ordered in certain areas to release it. Because you can watch them in some areas, they won't do it, and then all of a sudden they'll just start, and then they'll go forever and ever doing it. And it's like you notice a lot of things change. People's health changes.
My allergies start kicking.
Yep. You just notice everything. But I have noticed a 24 to 48 hour weather change, in one direction or the other. Rain, snow, like I said, wind. the temperature will drop. You have a big cold front, but it always happens, no matter what time of the year. When you see them, and Brianne said it herself. I'll put it back up here. It's the best way to kill rural America and their health. No booster needed. So for the Americans that didn't, as you said, take that jab, well, they're going to kill you one way or the other because they're going to put stuff in the sky that's going to take you. It's going to cause cancers or anything else that's going to come back to bite you one way or the other. I mean, I know here a lot of people in Kentucky, I don't know if you know, but what was it, 2018, 2019? The government actually set out things in the woods here, and it killed out our deer population.
I didn't know that.
And was about 90% of the deer population in eastern Kentucky was killed out.
Why? How did they do it?
And they called it blue tongue, wasn't it? And it had a different name, but it was like a blue tongue. Like the deer would all go to water to try to drink water, but they couldn't do it because their faces and their mouths would swell up, and then they would just die. And
well, it didn't make sense because the last time that blue tongue happened before this time, they said it was because we were in a drought. But that last summer that it happened, we had a lot of rain, but they were saying it was stagnant water that's causing it. But it was just weird because we had customers come in the gun store that was talking about finding these little blue pellets all over the woods.
In the woods, and like finding things laying in the woods, like little. And someone took one
and had
it tested, and it was like some kind of cyanide or something, that was been dropped in the woods for these animals to eat. And, I mean, it did. I mean, you could drive down the road here and not see a deer for miles, and if you did, they was walking in circles or, having the awfulest problems in the world. I mean, it was awful. And we're just now starting to get our deer population back up to where probably not as big and thick as it was, but it's getting close.
Fish and Wildlife is going to let us have an extra deer permit that year, but insurance companies were complaining about having to pay out too much on deer wrecks.
Go figure, insurance company.
Yeah, insurance. Yeah, don't get my wife started on insurance companies.
But yeah,
what was the purpose of that? Why'd they do it? Just because they could?
We've never really got an explanation because, like you get all the time and like I get all the time, we're conspiracy theorists. The deer just caught diseases and died.
Well, no one's going to
and all this stupid
Fish
stuff.
And Wildlife. They're going to say that it was a disease they contracted, which was blue tongue. They call it blue tongue. And it's caused by a midge fly, but it's just
90% of a deer population just all caught it at one time. It just don't make sense.
You couldn't go up a holler or anything around here. It stunk so bad. There were dead deer everywhere.
Yeah, you go anywhere near water and there'd be a deer laying there dead. Big deer, little deer. I mean, it's bad.
Well, yeah, now remember, everything they do has a purpose. There's nothing random about what the governments do, right? The Berlin Wall coming down, 9/11, Jade Helm, the vaccine, the so-called vaccine. There's nothing that is not unplanned by them. And I've said this before on your show. George Carlin said it the best. He says there's a couple of rules I live by, and the first rule is I don't believe a word the government tells me. Okay, and the second one, it's a big club, and you ain't in it, and we ain't in it. Okay, so yeah, it's they have a plan, and it's Satan's plan because he's coming back, and I don't know if it's going to be next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever that timeline is. He is real, and he's here, and he is working through his apostates here on earth to get shit done, and all of them are his apostates. If you know their name, they're in the club.
Well, you mentioned the devil, so that just made me think. During the April 8th eclipse, you will be able to see somewhere during the eclipse a comet that is called the Devil Comet. It's called Devil Comet. You're going to be able to see it. Why are we not seeing it now? Why are we not seeing it before or after? But you're only seeing it during the time that the eclipse is happening, during the dark spot.
Yeah. I heard that's something recently. I just heard like maybe a couple of weeks ago was about there's actually the Devil's Comet on one side, and then there's Venus or something star on the other side. And we're this is the age of Aquarius. supposedly with the stars, and something about a whale as well in the stars. I haven't looked into that, but there will be signs in the skies. It says in the Bible, stars will fall from heaven. I mean, it's all there. So I think we should really, absorb what we're being shown and told, and understand that, hey, there's an old parable in the Bible, or not in the Bible, it's an old parable about a guy, and you probably guys know this one, about a guy in the ocean drowning. He's in a boat, his boat's sinking, right? And as the guy, one of the guys roll, hey, do you need some help? Let's hear it. He says, no, I'm praying. God will save me. Yahweh will save me. And so they leave. Another boat comes by and sees this guy, and his ship's now further down. He goes, you need some help? He says, no, I'm praying. God will save me. Yahweh is going to save me. They leave. His ship's almost down, and here comes the third one. Do you need any help? And boom, he drowns. He makes it up to the pearly gates, gets in front of Yahweh and says, hey, Lord, I thought you would save me. And he goes, I sent 3 ships. Okay, so, understand that there are signs. He goes, I sent you 3 life-saving opportunities and you didn't take them, right? So he doesn't always manifest himself in the physical, because that's reserved for special people, the Hebrews in particular. But he does send his helpers, angels, signs, thoughts in your head, things like that, to be sure that we are at least aware of what's going to happen. And then here's the thing: we can't stop what's going to happen, but we can mitigate what happens to us. Now, does that mean? And I've had this conversation before, and I'm always in between. Does that mean we're going to die slower? Right?
Right. Yeah.
All the food. If I got all the food in the world, all the ammo in the world, does that mean I'm just going to prolong my death? Which typically, at some point, you are just prolonging your death at some point, right? Whether it's cancer treatments or whatever it is, eating right, because we're all going to die, right? So, but we are here for a reason. And that reason is to be sure that we spread the word about things that are supposed to come or are going to happen, and help those along the path. Because in the end, it's all about who we help, and that is all the Bible's about, folks. Do you know what the whole entirety Bible is about? And I have a writing on this. I wrote this about probably 10 years ago. It's about how to enter the kingdom of heaven. That's it. The Bible is about nothing else. And so when you understand that, then we bring that back down to earth, and how can we help other people enter that kingdom, right? And you do that by helping and spreading the word. And, I sound like a Baptist now. How are you saved, right? So you guys heard of Falls Creek?
Yeah.
Yeah, Falls Creek. Falls Creek is a great place. I went to some Baptist churches as a kid. This is after I stopped being Jewish. So I was tired of being Hebrew, or Jew anyway. It wasn't for me, I guess. But then I almost had a bar mitzvah. But about 12, 13, 14, my mom started letting me go to, other churches with my friends, and I ended up in a Presbyterian church. But I got sidetracked here. But the thing about where we are now, it's like, am I just prolonging my death, right? How much food do I need? How much water do I need? How much ammo do I need? And is it going to be worth it? Or should I just go ahead and walk out the street, let the government do it, let's get it over with, right? So I'm a fighter, so I'll be in the fucking streets with everybody else at some point, I'm sure. But it's just it's a wondrous thing to understand that we're here for a purpose, and we're all going to die at some point, but it's what we do along the way is what God really wants. Yahweh really wants us is, what's the golden rule? It's the most important rule in the Bible. How do you treat others, right? So I take that to my everyday life. Try to be kind when I can, although I have my moments like everybody does, right? We're only human. But for the most part, I try to spread the word. And when I say spread the word, I do talk. I mean, I use that as a broad term. So I'm spreading the word about Yeshua, your Savior. You know, I don't follow religions. That's why I never, you know, that's why I didn't become a full-time Jew or a full-time Presbyterian or full-time Lutheran or full-time Baptist. I don't follow religions. I follow Yeshua. Okay, religions are a man-made social construct. Jesus, Yeshua, your Savior, didn't say follow my religion. He said follow me because I am the way, the life, and the truth. The light and the truth. So religions, they're not good for anybody per se. I mean, do we need to congregate? But just understand you got to follow Yeshua. And listen, my wife, 8 years ago, I was going off. And I still go off, not as hard as I used to. All the preachers around here. Greg Rochelle's a big one of them. Life Church. I just say his name all the time because he's at the top of my list called Life Church. You guys probably have a Life Church out in your area, I bet. He started from nothing, 30 people, grown to this huge thing, Arizona, Kansas, maybe Kentucky, Texas. And I just use him. There's a lot of preachers, and I'm sure you know some in your area. And I think we talked about this last time. They don't talk about Satan. I miss the old 1983-84 Baptist church that I was going to, where Falls Creek, where the Baptist church is up there with the Bible, talking about redemption and Satan. You don't see that shit anymore. The Life Church, especially, they're all about. They have these 4-week how to be a better father, which is all fine and dandy. But when the fucking world is burning down around you and Satan is here and you're not talking about it and you're that's the other thing. Churches close, God bless. How many freedoms don't get me started on the fucking clergy in this United States of America. Because I would have told everybody, fuck, I'm not closing my church. You guys still can. How many freedoms did you lose under Trump? Jesus, God. Just blows my mind that people were they just followed right along. And I was really, really, really mad because I was writing this in March of 2020, mad at the churches. And my wife was, she's a lot further. I mean, she's probably past me now with respect to, intensity and knowledge. But back then she was going, oh God, don't call it a sham and what in the churches. But no. If you're a church, you come congregate, okay? I'll let God be my Savior. Let God save me. I'm not going to listen to the government that I need to stay home and worry about whatever it is, okay? I want to die on my terms, right? If I'm going to die, I'm not going to have Trump tell me to stay in my fucking house, okay? It's not the way I roll. So, but yeah, but the whole thing is, I spread the word. Let me finish. I spread the word, but yes, Yeshua, your Savior, but I spread the word about the New World Order and all that stuff. That's what I'm trying to get out there with people. And don't believe the government. Don't believe them. Don't believe Trump. Don't believe Trump. Don't believe Trump. Don't believe Biden. Biden. Don't believe Biden. Don't believe Obama. Don't believe Bush. Don't believe any of them, folks. Zero. Except when Trump gets in office and my pocketbook is a lot fatter, I'll feel a little better. But I still won't trust them.
Yeah, I think everybody's pockets was a little bit fuller when that happened. I'm going to go back to this chemtrail thing a little bit here. Anna said that they had 15 adult goats that died from the same thing, and also heard about people's cattle. Well, so for the chemtrails, here's what I would say. If the government can drop stuff into the woods to take out and do animal control and kill off the population of the animals, who's to say they're not doing the same thing to the humans right now? With the chemtrails.
Well, that goes hand in hand. Yeah. The chemtrails. So the chemtrails are a part of the system, right? Fluoride in the water back in the 50s. Fluoride's a poison, guys. It reduces your pineal gland. It calcifies your pineal gland. Satan is in control. And we're not the only country. We're the most vocal I would think. Maybe not. I don't know. But it happens everywhere. China, especially, Russia, especially. Because remember, if anything, my message is when I'm ever on your show is they are all in the cabal. If you know their name, they are in the cabal. Okay, I want people to let that sink in, because don't get me wrong, we do need somebody that we can trust and follow, or not follow, but at least trust that they have our best interests at heart. But they don't. Okay, they don't. And I'm only using Trump because he's the most recent one that took all our freedoms away. What has Biden done? Let me ask you guys this. Has Biden taken any freedoms away that I haven't heard of any? Is there something I've done that I've missed?
No, he's busy taking money out of our pocket.
Yeah, well, money's one thing, but has he told us not to work? Has he told us not to drive our cars, go see our friends? Is he, he's continuing what Trump started, so, but yeah, so, listen, it's just one of those things. I did get frustrated because, this one talk I gave, I had, I don't know, about 300 people there, right? And a while back. And it never fails. Once you start talking about somebody's savior, okay? Hell, you can talk crap about Yeshua all day long if you're not a red blood man. People, it doesn't matter. But then you talk about Biden, they'll fucking, I'm killing you, talk about Trump, I'm killing you, Like, guys, it's crazy. Buy electric cars. Okay. But yeah, but the thing is, you just have to understand that we're all headed to one world government. That's my whole thing. If anything, I've been talking about especially last 10 years, but really the last 10 years, but 20 years in general. I've just focused more on the New World Order the last 10 years or so. Is that we're going to a one world governmental system. Okay, and this is like Gattaca. If you've seen the movie Gattaca, okay, all the controllers are together. Okay, all of them. So, they know how to play us. They know how to play us, and the thing is, you have to understand that you're being played. But I'll say this: I hope Trump gets in office.
Everybody loves you. And they know you come here to get your blood pressure rose up. And, I was getting there before you got on. I was turning all red face. I'm like, oh. Then I started seeing, you popping up over here saying you were trying to come in and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so now I can calm down. I'm going to let him do it for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let me take over the high blood pressure.
But yeah, I follow you. Like I said, I keep up with you a lot,
thank you.
And on TikTok and different things like that. So, but now, like yesterday when you were talking about the chemtrails, it was chemtrails and a few different things that was in that post where people were talking. And that one guy said, you have no proof that there's a flat earth. And I'm sitting here like, but you have no proof that there's a round one.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, are you serious? And then that's when I text you and I said, well, where is their proof at? I've never been there. I don't know.
Exactly what my wife says. It's right. Listen, see, touch, feel. See, touch, feel. Right. And some idiot goes, man, touch and feel are the same thing. No, they're not, dummy. See, feel. You can touch something like I'm touching this camera, but now I'm feeling the camera. They're different, right? But see, touch, and feel. Their proof is NASA. That's it. It's coming from the control system, right? NASA. That's where they get their proof. But you and I can go outside, and I don't feel like I'm moving.
Right.
I feel like I'm standing still. Right. Still. Yeah. So yeah, it's just they've got us to where we don't trust our own senses, our own eyes. Hell, look at what they did under COVID. They were telling people that you weren't sick, but that you could be sick. How fucked up is that people were going, well, you may not feel the symptoms, but you could be sick. Wearing masks, wearing masks is an occult ritual as well. The cult ritual, wearing masks. So, honey, what is it? Come here. You don't have to go on camera, but say it. What's that saying? Come here, so I can hear you.
If you can convince people that they are spinning 1,000 miles.
If you can convince people that they're spinning 1,014 miles at the equator
and can't feel it, then you can convince them of anything.
Then you can convince them that they're sick and not really sick.
And can't feel it.
And can't feel it either.
So when does she make her debut on the show?
Well, I know. Come here, honey. Come here. Honey.
I can't let the whole world know how crazy I am too.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's already we're doing that for you. So
we'll do the crazy part for you. Yo, have you ever seen my wife before?
I don't think maybe a picture, but I don't know. I never know.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. She's super sweet, super hot. I hear all the time from my friends, you're a lucky guy. And you know when a guy says that, you know what that means.
Yeah.
If they can convince you that you're spinning 1,014, which is what they say, 1,014 miles at the equator. That's how fast the Earth spins, or that's how fast the world spins. I won't call it Earth. That's how. And you can't feel it. Then they can make you wear a mask and not feel sick, right? So yeah, it's not that hard, guys. And hey, I'm listen. As I said, I'm the smartest guy in the world. If I'm the only guy in the room, right? I have been fooled before. I've been duped before, But learning about flat Earth and I've been talking about flat Earth for 22, 24, 26 years or so. I've always believed it. This is back in late 1990s.
Bring that up there. Bring that globe up there. I'm going to put you on by yourself. Because I was watching a thing the other day about flight patterns, and I know we talked about that last month, about the flight pattern. Because if you look at it on a globe and you say, this plane goes up, if it's going to go to Japan, it goes up, goes all across Canada, all this stuff. But if you look on a flat Earth, it takes you a straight line. Anytime they make those emergency stops, they come right across. Instead of going 1,000 miles out of the way where the globe makes it look like they do, if they are on that map, then they're coming straight down and they can do
they flip it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And I think I've told you this before. My dad was a squadron commander in the Air Force. He was a major. My mom was a major for both my Major Fosters, and she was a flight commander. My dad flew the Huey. He flew the I think it was F-38, and my mom flew. What'd she fly? I can't remember what she flew, but they were. And my uncle, Air Force. My cousins, Air Force. Anyway, so this is in the 80s. I mean, I remember my dad talking about making. This is when he was came back from Vietnam. He was just got out. Maybe no, it was actually the mid 70s. I think maybe 78. He talked about his flight patterns or whatever it was. It's over stationary Earth. I mean, it was flat. Yep. Yeah. So come here. Hold on. She brought me the globe.
I can't remember the name of it now, but they were talking about there's a flat Earth convention in Vegas every year. But I can't remember what they called the name of it. I mean, had the name of it. I was telling Deb about it.
Yeah, so here's a little tidbit.
I was going to ask you about it and see if you've ever attended that or ever into it, but I cannot remember the name of it now.
Yeah, so some friends of mine started that. Okay, this is 2016. Yeah, I was asked to come speak at it back in 2015, I think. So yeah, they've changed the name of it a couple of times, but a lot of my good friends are Eric Dubé's one of them. These are guys that I say good friends, became good friends. I met them all through Facebook back in 2014 and 15 when I was talking about flat Earth. Found out that there were others out there, and they started that flat Earth convention. Yeah, and that first one was in Vegas, and I think they might continue to have it there. But so I got asked to speak back in 2015.
Yeah, I cannot remember the name of it. No.
Yeah.
I'll get it after a while, but I watched a whole show on it the other day. It was pretty interesting. I mean, it's like three or 400 people, show up there every year, this big convention. It's just like any convention, but it's a flat Earth, people that believe in flat Earth, and they show up there and they share stories and, different stuff. I mean, it was interesting, and I can't, it was flat something. I just can't remember what it was now. But.
Yeah. It's a thing. I mean, it's a thing. We have been lied to, folks, and that's Satan is a great deceiver, right? That's what it says in the Bible, and he is the God of this earth. So Yeshua called him, and the prince of this earth, prince of this earth. So Yeshua called him in Matthew as well. He is in control with respect to. We have free will, right? We have free will, but he is in control. And when I say control, he uses deception to control the masses, and we're dumb. I'll count myself in that category. We're easily fooled. That's why I preach this flat Earth, because once you believe this and not this, okay. Once you know that you are not you're not insignificant, that you are not a spinning ball out in the middle of nowhere, that's in an ever-expanding universe, and you realize that Yahweh made this special right here, and he sits right here looking down on us. In Corinthians, it says he looks down on us like grasshoppers. Okay? It's a thing. Because once you really understand this and know where you are, all of the other stuff starts to open up about, oh my God, well, that was bullshit. Oh, that was bullshit. That's why, I have my parents to thank for this pretty much. And then, of course, me and being always wanting to learn a little bit more. That's why I knew not to get this. That's why I listen to George Carlin. I don't believe what the government says. Don't believe him. If everyone's going that way, I'm going that way. So, and I have a. Let me read you this mission. I did this a while back, because in life, you've got to have a message, right? Or to bring people to your side, you have to have a message, right? And if I can find it here, mission statement. Yeah, in my mission statement, it says. The main thrust of my viewpoint is to illustrate through real-world quantifiable research and examples and their excuse me, and their undeniable factual conclusions, the veil of this deception that has permeated our thought process since the 1550s. And so you guys know the round world, this right here, really started in the 1550s under the Jesuit order. The thought has permeated our thought process since the 1550s, and for those who are truth seekers, to be a conduit to help them lift this veil, to also illustrate through my actions and my writings. And it's not that difficult to break down the walls that were built to keep us blind from seeing the world, seeing the earth in its true form. So I wrote that mission statement way back in 2013, because I knew I was going to start talking about this and trying to get people, hey, it's fine if you want to believe in this. Okay, great, but understand, people go, what's it matter? What's it matter if you believe in this or this? It doesn't matter to me. Well, okay, let's start with, does it matter if the earth is round or flat? Let's just go with maybe not. So let's say it doesn't matter. But it does. But let's just go with people. Why does it matter? Let's say it doesn't matter. What matters is the lie. The lie matters, right? The lie. So, in essence, this really does matter, because once you understand this lie here, that it's a bunch of bullcrap, that your Savior and your God, Yahweh, and your Savior in heaven, the three heavens, he sits up here and looks down for us. The star Polaris shows that every day. The star that the three wise men followed, right? So yeah, the star Polaris. So that's where God sits. He's right above it. He's been above us the whole time. So yeah, so it's important.
It's called I looked it up. It's called Flattoberfest. Flattoberfest is what they
October. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was flat. They've changed it. They've changed it a few times. Unless it may be a different one because it's a flat Earth convention. I think that's what
I saw that one. I was looking at it, but the one.
Yeah, I think when it started back 2016.
And there was a guy. I'd have to get his name too, but there was a guy on there. He's like the best believer, the top believer in the world, or something for flat Earth, and he was there. And all this, and I watched that. I was thinking about you. I said I needed to write that down, but I didn't write it down. But yeah, that's
well, Rob Skiva was a good friend of mine. He died of COVID. I think 2020. Rob Skiva was a pioneer. I was in the forefront of all this. I was friends with. I even debated Neil deGrasse Tyson. It was a forum we had. It wasn't just me, but a few of us. But yeah.
I think they call this guy Flat Earth Dave.
Flat Earth Dave, I know he is. Yeah. He's actually one of the founders of it. Yep.
Yeah, Flat Earth Dave, I think.
Yeah, David. Him, myself, Eric Dubay, Rob Skiva, a lady named Jane. This goes all the way. We were a small collective back in 2015, 2014, late 2014. Going in 2015. I mean, there were, and of course, when I met my wife, we were at some bar. We were at Lumpy's, a place called Lumpy's, the bar, biker bar, and she goes, do you think, what, hey, honey, what'd you say? She goes, okay, yeah, we're talking to some guy. She goes, I bet some guy that we met or something goes, I bet he hasn't heard of Flat Earth. And I go, and this is 2015. I'm like, bull crap. I said, come on. I'm like, everyone's heard of Flat Earth. And of course, so my wife goes up and says, let's bet you $100. You've never heard of this. And we didn't take his money, of course, but he goes, Flat Earth. He goes, no, never heard of it. And at that point in my life, I was like, well, God, maybe not everybody has heard of it, and maybe they're not privy to what's really going on. So that's when I kind of got into Superman mode and really started evangelizing, to use a Baptist term, going out evangelizing about Flat Earth and who made us and who your Savior is. Can't forget those two.
Flat Earth. So you're just going to be Flat Earth Jim, I guess.
Flat Earth Jim, that's right.
Next time you're on, that's what I'm gonna title the show, Flat Earth Jim. Right?
Flat Earth Jim, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. Well, if it's got what time is it there? Is it 10 o'clock there?
It is 10:02, yeah.
Oh wow, okay. Well, I'll let you guys get off, man. I'm sure I was a little late today. I do really, really appreciate getting on your show. Last time was about a month ago. Was it just about a month ago I was on?
I think last Sunday made a month. And me and you had talked back last fall about doing a monthly show.
Yes,
yep. That's when I messaged you. I think it was last Sunday or Monday. I messaged you and said, "Hey, it's been a month. Are you ready to go again?" So yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
If you're still interested in doing the monthly, I think we'll just continue.
Hey, this will be after the eclipse. So yeah, let's see. So a month is going to put us in May, March. What's that going to put us?
April
24th. So so it'll be close to May. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it around. My birthday is April 29th. So sometime before that, I bet. Not that I'll be doing anything for my 55th birthday.
I thought you was 30.
Yeah, dude. 55.
55.
Crazy.
Have to get somebody on here to sing happy birthday to you for that April.
All right. Yeah, that'd be great. My birthday's on a Monday.
We'll let you get off here. We do appreciate you, coming on, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
Yeah, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you guys. And then let your lovely wife know that I sent you my card. If she needs me to help anybody, let me know.
Yeah. I sent it over to her. She's here.
Yep.
I sent it over to her just as soon as you sent it to me that night, and told her, I said, "Here you go."
Well, I'm always available for you guys, and let me know anything else. And I look forward to talking to you. Okay.
All right, man. Have a good night.
That was in the audience. Thank you, guys.
All right. Take care, man. back on here. All right, guys, there you go. There's Jim Foster. Joined us. I mean, he's something else. He tells it like it is, and that's what we all enjoy about having him on here. He just speaks his mind, tells what he believes, and goes with the flow. A lot of people don't agree with him. A lot of people call him crazy, but I think every one of us is a little bit crazy. But I do want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Like I said, he'll be back in about a month. It's been fun. Hopefully everybody did enjoy it. I'm sure, I'm going to get up with Matthew shortly. Hopefully me and him will be on before that next Jim Foster show. If not, I'm sure you'll see me and Deborah somewhere along the way. We're always live on Tuesday nights at the store, but we've got to get some of these. There's too much stuff going on. I'd like to be able to do something before that April the 8th event. So I'll talk to Matthew and see if we can get that scheduled. But thank you to everybody who tuned in and commented tonight, shared. If you haven't shared, go ahead and share. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate you over there too. Everybody, take care. Have a good night. Enjoy your week. Hopefully we'll have some nice weather this week. It's time to mow, sadly, so got to get out and try to mow this week. But thank you for watching. Everybody, take care. Have a good night. Be safe, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.